Okay, it's childish, can't be no homegirl, drop it like the NASDAQ. Move white girls like this coke up my ass crack. Move black.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Something RX. Today we're here with James Newbury. How you going?
Yeah, not too bad. Going alright.
Cruising along.
Yeah.
How you been, James? How was the OC Throwdown and Waterpalooza?
Yeah, it's been going alright since the last podcast. It's been busy, really busy, lots of training and lots of work, and yeah, Waterpalooza and OCT were really good, eye-opening experience. Totally different sort of level of competition, I guess, and different experience, like competing in a different environment, different country, different people, different surroundings. So it was, they were some pretty cool events. I really loved Waterpalooza. It was probably one of the best competitions I've ever been to. So
that looked like amazing, having the waterfront and like being in Miami.
Yeah, it was pretty epic. It was like unexpectedly good. The way it was run and the athletes that were there.
1,018 competitors. Crazy like that.
Something like that. It was pretty big. Like the scale of how they did it was just pretty mind blowing. It was it was bigger than what I imagined. They had 3 stages going at once. They had teams, and they had elite males and females in the RX, and then they had scaled, and then they
intermediate. They had like
intermediate.
It was like 3 different levels before you actually got to elite.
Yeah, and then they had the adaptive as well.
Yeah, that would have been cool and inspiring to watch.
Yeah, it was awesome. So that was really cool, and it was run really well. Guido Trinidad did a really good job, and he was very on the ball with everybody. So it's pretty epic too what he did.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How did you qualify for Waterpalooza and the OC Throwdown? What was that process like?
Well, they both had a qualification process. I missed out on the Waterpalooza qualification, but I had a friend, Amanda, send an email for me just to catch back up with Guido Trinidad, and he said, yeah, come across and jump in. So I did that. And then with the OCT, I did an online qualifier and sort of scraped in to make the OCT too. Yeah. Now, they were good, like they were sort of, they were all like, because it's not part of my regular training, I sort of just plugged the events in wherever I could and sort of just did however I could, and only just made it. So that was lucky enough to get into that, but it was not too bad. It was not too bad.
Yeah. How did being in America and competing over there differ to what we normally see here traditionally in Australia? Like, what was the feel like?
Yeah, well, it's like everything in the States is just done on a bigger scale, I think, except for our regionals, I guess. But everything they do is just bigger and crazier, and just more people, and I guess a lot more money is put into CrossFit over there at the moment, and the events themselves, they're all run in a different style. Waterpalooza is very different from OCT, but
programming wise, or just how the event was run?
Both. Different types of programming, different types of organisation, but yeah, it was really good. Like the level of competition of the people that were there, like you've got lots of games athletes. Like here, it's hard to find because a lot of the games athletes from Australia qualify year after year. So it's every now and again you'll only see them at a competition. Whereas over there you're getting games athletes at both competitions, and not just 1 or 2, but like 10 or 15 or 20. So it's very different. But
very different level.
It's cool. Yeah, it's very cool. It's very cool to be sort of lining up and looking across and seeing people like Matt Chan or Jordan Troyan and those guys,
and hanging in the mix, like it's really cool.
And some of the events, it was it was pretty cool to sort of
gives you a good idea to know where you're at as well with your training.
Exactly. To get up on some of the events was good, and then to also get beat in the other events is good too, because then at least it sort of lets you know where you need to get better, and when you want to compete at that type of level where you need to be. So it's good.
What's that like with your, I guess your own training? Do you do most of your training on your own, or do you do it with partners?
I do most of my training on my own. Rob, I'm still training with Rob, and he's still doing my individual programming. So I do most of that on my own, and sort of sort of smash it out in the gym. Other people are training in the gym, so that's really all, like, that's basically the closest I get to training partners is other people doing their own thing while I'm training, which is totally fine. It's fun to do that, and it's good to have a good atmosphere of people around, but yeah, it's still ticking along quite nicely.
Yeah, so I guess having these competitions gives you a good, you know, you get good checkpoints to see, like, how is my training going?
Yeah.
Could I be pushing harder?
Is there anything that sort of really hurt during the competition that didn't feel like it used to hurt that much, or where I feel stronger, or where I think I need to improve more, or if something came up that really stumped me, then I need to work more on that. And so it sort of gives me a little base to sort of, I guess, to sort of gauge where I need to be. Yeah.
With the OC Throwdown and Wodapalooza, they were very vastly different in programming.
Yeah.
As an athlete, what was that like? What was harder? How was it different to you?
Well, I think the Wodapalooza was very much, or the Wodapalooza was more, how can I put it?
Would you say it's more CrossFit-y? Or probably less.
More like the games rather than more CrossFit-y style stuff. So it was like the OCT had very just CrossFit workouts. Yeah. Like pistols, muscle ups, cleans, pull-ups, burpees, deadlifts, thrusters, things like that. Whereas the Wodapalooza chucked in like 5K obstacle course, and then they chucked in a swim and and parallettes and L-sits and different things like that, which you don't usually get in a competition, and you usually see different styles of competition when you get to either the games or you get to a totally different competition, or go to a triathlon or something like that. But yeah, I think it was more broad in their programming, which I like. Whenever I see the games come up and I see all these guys competing at the games, and they've got swims and they've got big long runs and they've got bike riding and like they do obstacle courses and all that type of stuff, it's epic. I like that stuff. It's fun.
And that's the sort of stuff that makes training fun. You know?
It's heaps of fun. Yeah,
you do plenty of thrusters and deadlifts and training.
Exactly. I want to get out and do a 5K.
Now, if I'm not incorrect, which I might be, it's very possible. How did you crush the 5K obstacle course? Did you come first in that?
No, I came third. I came third. I think the guy that won it, I think he did it about 40 seconds faster.
Yeah. Okay. So right in the mix. Yeah. How was that? What was that like?
Yeah, that was good. Like I was sort of looking forward to that event. It was on the first night we were there, so we sort of we did one event. We did the snatch, the pull up handstand push up snatch workout, and then the next event after that was the 50 cal AD straight into 5K run. So that was a hard workout. Like I remember like getting halfway through the run and thinking, oh my god, but it ended up being quite good. Like it was interesting to do, and it was fun, and crossing the line and not really knowing how you placed and then saying, oh, you came third, it was pretty cool, and to beat a couple of the people that I didn't really expect to beat, and I guess it sort of shows where I sit with that type of stuff, and which is good too. But you just, on that run, it's like, because you did your AD, you did 50 cals AD and you had to get that, and you were getting placed and ranked for the 50 cal AD, and then jumping into your run, and it was like you never ever recovered. Like until you finished the run, you didn't recover from the AD. It was like your chest felt really heavy.
Did people put everything they had into that 50 calorie add-on, or just
some did, some didn't. Yeah, some did, some didn't. I was sort of in between. I think I came 14th in that one, so still the top sort of quarter or top third.
It's a bit of a gamble, you know. To really go all out, you're not going to be able to recover for that.
Yeah, exactly. So I sort of sat at around the 85% mark. For my effort. And then towards the end I just had to grind, and then I was just giving it all I could. But like, I think I finished in about 1:40 for my 50 cals, and Matt Chan did it in 53 seconds. But then like I think his leg was hurting because of his operation, but I did run past him and I saw him walking, so but he said his leg was sore, so I think it's sort of like, I don't know, must have like inflamed
something
the operation. But so some people went real hard and got a good score on the AD, and then really died in the run, and then some people did well in both, and some people did very average in the AD and then did well in the run. So I think it was more about trying to do as much as you can in both of them, and then trying to recover as much as you can on the run, but just never seemed to ever let off. Like your chest felt very heavy.
I can imagine. Now, OC Throwdown obviously has become very popular and controversial since the event. What was the hurdle event like?
It wasn't like, I guess the hurdle event is a good event the concept was good. So they had a cool concept to test power and to test speed and to get the work done quickly. The way they executed the event was not good. I think it was good event, but could have used a different apparatus to make the event safer for the athletes.
Yeah, definitely.
And they would have received the same result. So they would have still been able to test power and speed if they'd done it, say, on a softer surface, maybe a grass surface, and also used a hurdle that was either able to fall over or fall off. Well, that one fell over, but instead of falling off and landing to the ground, it was sort of like it stayed stable, and then you rode the hurdle to the ground if you landed on it, which a lot of people did. Either you made it through the whole lot unbroken, or you fell over, basically. So it could have been executed with a different apparatus much better, but I think what they did was possibly just didn't really see the consequences of doing it on a concrete surface with the hurdles that they had, and sort of I guess it just threw all the athletes in the deep end, and no one wants to go there and not do the event and say, hey, that was dangerous, I'm not going to do it. Everyone sort of had to line up and go for it, and if you didn't, then you know, and missed out on the placing, you know. So I think if they had done it in a way like a high jump where the bar fell off, and you didn't ride anything to the floor, which is where it did, is like it sort of hitched people up a lot. So you'd jump over, and if your feet clipped it, it'd hit you, and then it'd either flip you to the side or flip you back, which is sort of what happened to me.
How many people were getting over the hurdles?
Well, I would say 25% of people. 25% of people made it most of the way, or maybe 15% of people made it the whole way. But some of those people got to the very last one, stacked it, came back, redid it and got it, or stacked it twice and got it. But then a lot of the other people were not making it through at all, and clipping themselves and falling, and that's why I saw a lot of falling compilations of the hurdle event, which is not good at all, because it was pretty dangerous and people were landing in awkward positions, and there was a couple of injuries, and it could have been executed a lot better, I think. Good testing workout. Good testing workout if it had been executed better.
Done a different way.
It
was definitely a bit heartbreaking seeing some of those videos and having people, you know, you give everything you have, and then having the judge no rep you. Just after you had, you know, people were taking pretty big falls. The workout was for time as well.
Well, so basically your time was your tiebreaker. So say you got through the 54-inch one, and then you finished the line in say 20-25 and got the 54. Did
the workout feel for time, or not really because of the height of the hurdles? Or
well, it did. It was for time. So you're trying to get over them quite quick, but you didn't want to miss any. So I'd planned, if I had hit that the one that I fell on, I'd planned to hit that one and run to the end. And too bad I clipped it. I guess, but you get that.
Did the injury hurt at the time, or was it more so something that you noticed a little bit later on?
I noticed it about 5 minutes later. So I jumped, I clipped my feet, it sort of shot me back, and then I put my arm out to brace my fall, and I landed on my wrist, and it sort of jolted my shoulder upwards. And I actually felt it in my shoulder the first instance, and I thought, I just sort of jolted my shoulder up a little bit, it'd be all right. Ran off and finished the workout, and didn't redo the hurdle. I just stopped it straight away. And then I sort of walked off, and then Rob asked me, he said, how's your wrist? And I said, wrist is fine. I just sort of jolted my shoulder. And then like 2 minutes later, my wrist started hurting. And then then it got worse, and then it got worse, and then it got worse, and then like by the end of the night, I couldn't even bend my wrist back at all. And so I had to just get a wrist brace, and I got like a motorbike wrist brace, and which Rob sort of lent to me, which is this one. And it just sort of stops my wrist from moving around too much and making it worse.
How was competing the rest of the competition after that?
It was a little bit frustrating, because every time you do it, you want to make sure that you put as much as you can into every workout, and you want your body to be working at 100% for you, so you can give it all you can to get the placing that you feel like you deserve, I guess. But it did inhibit a little bit, especially the snatches. Like, it really hurt doing the snatches to bend the wrist back into that position. But sort of got through that, didn't really aggravate it too much more, and then I had to pull out of the last event just because it was 100 kilo shouldered overhead, and I didn't really want to risk hurting my wrist even more, especially for the following weekend at Waterpalooza. So I pulled out of the final event just to be, I guess, play it safe.
Alright, that makes sense, because I was really confused. I was trying to watch it online, like I couldn't, I was trying to look for you, and because it didn't say that you had pulled out, it was everything makes sense now.
Okay, no, I didn't do the last one because it was pretty bad, and I didn't want to aggravate it more, which is sort of, I guess, lucky that I didn't, because when I got back to Australia, I got the scan, and that's
when you find out.
Yeah, that was just fractured in 2 spots.
Yeah, awesome. We're just gonna take a small break, guys. We'll come back and we'll talk more about Wodapalooza. Cool. Take care. And we're back, guys. So we're just covering OC throwdown, silly hurdle event, hurting your wrist, being in the mix with lots of games athletes. Was the level of competition higher at Wodapalooza than it was at the OC throwdown, or was it different?
Yeah, it's definitely higher. Yeah, definitely higher. Like, there were some really good athletes at OCT. Like Benny Garrard, Brent Fikowski, those guys, Mitch Barnard. They killed it and they did really well, and they're like they were awesome competitors, and they smashed it out all weekend. But probably the amount of games athletes and regionals competitors and all that was definitely higher at Wodapalooza. I think they had, I don't even know the number, but if you went through there, I reckon there would be at least probably 15 games athletes from the males, and probably even more from the females. So it was pretty epic.
Yeah, and I think it's so cool how, like, there's these 3 competitions that have all kind of started, you know, all going back to back. So you've got the OC throwdown in 1 week, Wodapalooza, and then obviously the East Coast Championships the week after that.
And then another one after that, which I only just heard about, was one in Texas. There was one in Texas, which is another big one, and apparently it's going off at the moment. So
cool.
Yeah, so I think there's 4 in a row, which are all pretty epic.
No, it's cool. I mean, and there's pretty decent money to be made in all these competitions, like good exposure, and you know, as well, like good level of competitions. Does doing these competitions take away from your regular training, like, or not yours, but just in general, being a high level athlete? Does it take away?
Yeah, it does. Well, it takes away from training time, but it also, so what you lose in training time, you gain in competition prep. So basically, I think, well, to an extent, but the more competitions you do, I think the better you get at competing at competitions, and the better understanding of what you need to do to make sure you are ready for a competition is more ingrained into how you do them. So basically, I find every competition I'll try something and I'll find out that it doesn't work so well, and then I'll do it, and I'll do something different the next competition, find out that was much better. So now I know what I need to do at each competition for myself to be able to back up and repeat and recover and prepare better than I did the last competition. So it's good.
With most people, what do you think they go wrong when they're competing?
Well,
like, let's talk your average person listening, and they have like a competition coming up.
Yeah, well, I think don't change too much of what you do in your normal training, because I think your body's adapting to how you currently train, and don't really change too much. Like, don't take a week off training and get ready for the competition.
So coming from you, because that happens all the time. Like, there's a competition coming up right now, Elite Super League, and you know, people are like asking, should I take the week off? Like, why would you take the week off training? Like, why would you? Why would you stop doing the thing that's getting you to be people freak out, and they're like, should I just change should I go super strict now? And like not get any calories in, and then like feel, do you know what I mean? Like,
I understand. They I think they think that if they take time off, they're going to feel super recovered and super ready to rock and roll. Whereas every other day they're training most days, and they're coming back and they're backing it up and doing good WODs, and they're doing well anyway. So I like to train basically right up until probably 2 days out. And say if I was competing on a Sunday, I would train Friday, and then I would take Saturday off, but I'd do something. I'd go either down the beach and go for a swim, or go to the pool, or
so you'd still move.
I'll still move, for sure. Like, that's what we build our bodies for, is to be able to move around and not taper heaps. Taper a little bit, definitely. Like, back it off. Like, don't be. I wouldn't suggest go and do 1 RM deadlift 2 days prior to a competition, but move around, do something, and try not to change too much, and don't overhaul your diet in 2 days leading up to a competition. Just keep doing what you're doing, and if that's how you like to train, then probably that's more than likely how you'd like to compete. Usually. So I would suggest to maintain basically what you do for training, and maybe just take the day off before and have a rest day, but move around, mobilize, stretch, relax, go to the beach.
When you're competing, what's your mental game like?
I like to try and stay as relaxed as I can, have a good time. I'm fairly serious when it gets around then, and I usually don't say too much, and I like to be fairly fairly quiet in a sense, and I like to just be relaxed. So like calm is sort of how I like to be, and just focusing on what I need to do and what I need to do for that workout and how I'm going to attack it, and when I do it, and go as hard as I can.
Yeah.
So just be as relaxed as I can, and yeah, that usually works best for me.
Yeah, cool. So back to Waterpalooza. What was the hardest event?
Hardest event
out of that competition for you?
Hardest event, probably. Oh, I'm trying to think of all the events now. There was 9. One that hurt the most. The one that really sort of hurt the most would have probably been the run.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just lasted a decent amount of time, and it was just hard the whole way through.
Yeah.
But that was one of the most satisfying. Most satisfying workout would have been the event win one.
Yeah.
So that would have been the toaster bar row overhead lunge workout. That was the most satisfying to win that event.
Yeah.
It wasn't the hardest event though. Another hard event was I guess the swim event. That was fairly hard, but it was more so frustrating rather than anything, because you got out of the water and you had to do the wall balls, and the wall ball was so slippery, but everyone had to deal with the same thing, so no excuses there. But it was. Do
you think that was something that they took into account when they were programming, or
probably? Yeah, probably. I think they probably
made it in a way so it would be hard for people to.
Yeah, and it was a 12-foot target, so it was just put your timing off just a little bit, and but everyone had to deal with the same situation, so it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad, but that was quite hard. I'm trying to think of some other events as well. Yeah, definitely the run would have been the hardest event.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Finishing that run and having someone sitting on your tail trying to overtake you for a position.
And that would have been like that for a while, right? Like you would have just felt people just behind you, and
yeah, well there was Travis Mayer. He sort of got off the bike just before me, but I overtook him getting off the stage, and then he overtook me probably in the first 500 meters, but I sat on his tail for the rest of it, and then overtook him in the obstacle course, and then he tried to overtake me again about 400 meters from the line, and I could hear he was breathing rather hard, and I still felt pretty good at that point. Like I was breathing, but I still had a bit left in the tank, so I sort of picked it up for a little bit, but having to really burst that last 400 sort of left me feeling pretty shattered at the end. But it was good. It was good.
And Waterpalooza was 3 days of competition?
3 days, yeah. Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah. How was that on the body?
Yeah, it was good. Like I don't really like 3 days of competition is no more stressful than 3 days of heavy training, really, for me. It's like, but I guess with competition, you're going at max effort every time you go out there. Yeah. And with training, I guess you have your max effort sessions and you have your sort of lower intensity sessions. So it's a little bit different, but the amount of work to be done over the weekend was basically no different from what I normally do. So so it's all right.
With that last event for Waterpalooza, I saw a lot of people really struggle with the rope climbs.
That's another. Like, I was thinking about that event, but then
I found that interesting and surprising. Like, I don't think I've ever seen that many high-level athletes just struggle with a rope climb.
It was rough. Like it was really rough. Like I don't mind rope climbs, but at the time it just. I don't know what it was, but it was just so tiresome on the arms, and your grip and everything is just wrecked you.
A rope climb's almost a movement that, would you consider them challenging at all or not?
To do one rope climb? No.
Yeah.
No,
so
super easy.
Is it almost something that you kind of look over and you go like, I'll be fine with it?
Yeah. When I was looking at everyone, I was watching the heat, because I was in the last heat, I was watching the heats before me, and I was looking at the guys and it's like, they're taking a long time at the bottom of that rope.
Yeah.
And then I thought to myself, maybe it's a little bit rougher than what I expect. And because everyone's going at such a high pace, you get through your pistols and then you're feeling good, and then you get to your clean and jerk and you feel okay and you plug through them, and then you get to your muscle ups and you feel pretty gassed there, and I guess like you keep moving on, and then you get to your rope climbs and you think, oh, this will be okay, 10 rope climbs, no problem.
Yeah.
And then you do like 2 rope climbs and you're just like, oh my god.
I know, you could see people at the bottom looking like, I have so many.
Yeah, like
so many to go.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was looking up at the rope thinking I'd need to wait longer, because if I get onto that rope right now, I'm not going to make it up to the top.
Yeah.
And I almost, my ninth rep, I got halfway up and almost couldn't go any further because my arms were just that gassed, I couldn't move my fingers.
Yeah.
And my ollies were slipping on the rope a fair bit, and it was just really hard, and it was really sort of rough on the old grip. But that was a tough event. I was sitting at the bottom of the rope for a while each time, at least probably taking 25 seconds worth of rest, because I just knew that I wouldn't be able to get back up if I went too early.
When you're in that sort of situation and you see other people going, and you're in the midst of it, and maybe you don't really know where people are in front or they're behind, do you listen to your body, or do you try and push a little bit more just to kind of be competitive in the competition?
Yeah, well, I think to myself, 9 times out of 10, I could probably go a few seconds quicker than what I really want to go. So I'll try and stick to that and think, I'll go in 5 seconds, I better go now. So, or if I know that I'm not going to be able to make it up that rope, or if there's something, I'll play it smart and be smart about it, and not put myself in a position where I get halfway up and fail and then lose a rep. And if I get to the top and I just make it, then I know I've probably just, my pacing is on par. If I'm at the position where I'm redlining and I need to just do what I can, then I'll hang in there as much as I can and keep it as minimal as I can for break time.
Because, you know, people always talk about like strategies for workouts, and, you know, like the open's around the corner, so everyone's going to think about how to shave 2 seconds off their deadlifts and to finish in like 2011th place. But, you know, for the most part, you know, like not everyone's competing to actually go to regionals. But that was an event where I actually saw people have to use strategy. Like, it was an event where if you went before you needed to, like you saw people get so close and then just have to come down. Because they were getting stuck. So it was just interesting to see like strategy actually have to be applied to its full extent. With that rope climb.
Yeah, of course. Like I think some people probably thought the rope climbs weren't going to be as testing as what they were, and probably got to the rope climbs and just gunned out a couple of reps and thought, oh, I probably shouldn't have done that, or just paced themselves the whole way through and got through not too bad. Like I know Noah Olsen won that event and he looked like he breathed through those rope climbs. So maybe conditioned probably maybe a touch better in rope climbs for that time. But then again, people might say in their off season, or not off season, but their more loading season, getting ready for the competition season, might not have targeted rope climbs so much and been working on other things. So I don't think it takes too long to say condition yourself for a certain movement that you think might be at regionals or might be at the games or something like that. So so I think people might have been strategically not working their rope climbs as much as probably what they wanted to, but that was probably one of the most testing workouts out of the whole thing. I remember finishing that event just thinking, geez, that was rough. That was, now that I think about it even more, you know, coming back and having nightmares about it, that was probably the roughest event, I think. Because I was in a pretty bad place.
That looked oddly tough for people. Another event that I think looked harder than I thought it looked on paper was the box jump and dumbbell snatch.
Dumbbell snatch. That was that was okay. That was like not too bad. It sort of put my wrist in a bit of a dodgy position, and but it didn't really. I guess it didn't really slow me down so much. It was more thinking about, oh, is it going to be okay? Is it going to be okay? But it was just it was a quick sprint, and you just had to pick your legs up. It was more actually a leg burner than anything else.
Just with the burpee box jumps?
Just with the
heavy jumps.
It was just, I remember feeling my legs thinking, oh, no, my legs are feeling it now. But after a couple of days of competition, it probably wouldn't have been such a bad workout if I guess you weren't racing against some of the top guys and having a fast heat and stuff like that. But that was a pretty rough event, but it was short and sharp, so it didn't take too long to recover after that.
I remember you first qualified, was it the first time you qualified for regionals, you would have had that same weight in one of your events? 2013.
So
how did that feel in comparison to 2-3 years ago, like, you know, that 100-pound dumbbell, which is I think 45 kilos?
45, it was well,
is that something you've done too much since doing it?
I do it every now and again. I stay familiar with it, but it was like, I remember getting ready for the 2012 regionals and having the dumbbell come up and thinking, oh, 45 kilos, and went to the gym and tried it and couldn't even get it above my head, and I thought, oh, it's not going to be good. And so then I just practiced leading up to that, and sort of worked my way up from about 30 kilos up to 45, and then worked myself a little bit over and went to 47, and was doing them in the gym at 50, and so it took a couple of weeks to get really used to the movement, and then by regionals, I thought I was going to get hammered in that workout and ended up placing third. So it was very different on the day, and when I guess adrenaline hits you and stuff, and funny things can happen.
Do you think it's perspective as well? Like you're on your own and you try a certain level of hard, but then you see someone else and they're moving it easy, so you go like, well, if they can do it, I'm not that weak. I could probably try a little bit harder.
I totally agree. It's like when someone when you see all the guys, if everybody else is snatching 120 kilos, like why can't I? And then you go and you do a 10 kilo PR because everybody else is.
Yeah, and that perspective, and I think that's kind of what's elevating CrossFit at such a rapid rate. Like, you see what most people are doing, and you go, well, that's what you aim for.
Yeah, exactly.
You go, I at least need to be able to do that much or that amount.
Yeah, well, it's basically like that. It's sort of like you want to try and I guess you want to be in the forefront of making these gains and PRs and breaking records, and you want to be the one that does the 180 kilo clean and jerk, and you want to be the one that does the everything else, you know, like and then if you wait for 25 other guys to do it first, and then you go and do it, you're still 25 places behind. You know, so your aim is to be at the forefront of something. And
is that stressful because CrossFit keeps moving forward so much at a rapid rate, or is it?
Well, it's like it is moving forward at such a fast pace, but if I'm training and if they're training and we're all doing sort of, I guess, similar things, we're all busting our asses every day. From my perspective, they can't get either too far ahead, or hopefully I can catch up. So they shouldn't be able to get too far ahead from what I'm doing, because I think your body can only do so much, and except for the freaks like Rich Froning who just keep going and going and going and train for
hours and hours
every day. Then it's I think you can always get better, and you can make sure that your mindset is sort of, I guess, stronger than everybody else's. When everyone is so close in capacity and everything, you need to work your weaknesses, and you need to stay strong mentally more than anything.
CrossFit, I felt like, you know, before last year's regionals, it was going like everyone was getting stronger and stronger. Last year's regionals comes up, and you know, it's strict gymnastics. What are things that you think are still being untested in CrossFit? Not from other competitions, but like, let's say CrossFit HQ, like as such.
Well, for the regionals in particular, like I'm still waiting for them to try and incorporate some type of run or swim event at the regionals, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not. It's rather hard to set up, and you got to look at the locations where everybody is and all that type of stuff too. But that'd be cool, like to make it very mixed and broad. And not have it too one-sided, I guess, because we all train for constantly varied, and we're all trying to be as good at everything as we possibly can. And some people are more suited to gymnastics, and some people are more suited to lifting, and some people are very endurance-based and things like that. So I don't know, like I think they're doing a pretty good job of testing everything. So I'm happy for whatever comes up. We train for everything, so happy for whatever.
Super regionals. What are your thoughts on that? 30 places this time, it's dropped down. So in Australia at least,
30
30 places.
30 places. That's cool. Like it's no 30 places is cool, and having 10 from Asia come across is cool too. But having 5 spots available is sort of, everyone's like, oh my god, this is awesome, because you get an extra 2 spots, and that could have made a massive difference last year to a lot of people. And
you would have obviously read the CrossFit HQ article that came out, where obviously yours and Amanda's names were dropped on there.
Yeah, that would have been cool. It would have been really cool. Like my ultimate goal is to get to the games, and I'm not going to stop until I do. So hopefully this will be the year that I can go for the first time and have an awesome time doing it. I just really want to just get my wrist fixed up and get everything all healed, so I can go into it not having anything in the back of my mind. Oh, better watch that. Like when I go to regionals, I won't be thinking about that at all. I'll be thinking about I'm gonna try and kill it.
Smash it. Last couple of questions. Do you keep an eye on the main site, CrossFit.com?
Not a whole bunch. Like my days are so busy as it is. Like I rarely have time to do anything. So I'm sort of running around training and looking after the gym and looking after the sports recovery center next door, and so I don't really get time to do anything else apart from work. So I don't really look at it too much. Every now and again, I'll sort of see the main site and what they do and what they put up, and I'll have a chat to people in the gym about what they're putting up and how they're doing it. So every now and again.
And lastly, how's your coach, Rob?
Yeah, good. I had a really good time over in the States with Rob and Jess, and we hung out for OCT and for Waterpalooza, and going really well. They're a crack up. They're really good to be with, and it's good to have Rob coaching for me, because he sort of now knows exactly where I'm at, what I do, and after competing over there and him being there for it as well, and spending the last 12 months under sort of his instruction.
And you've been down there a couple of times now over to see him?
Yeah, I went over there once to do a week's worth of training and stayed at his house, and yeah, it was just awesome, and it's good to get away to just only focus on doing the job, is getting the training done, and resting and recovering, and training and resting and recovering, and getting your body in the right position and getting your mindset right is good, not to have to do bookwork and do everything else and clean and do all that type of stuff too. So lucky enough that Kayla can kind of stay here for me sometimes and help out when I go away, and I can sort of do the same for her when she wants to go away.
Yeah, no, definitely. Any sponsors that you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, for sure. So the Wildlife, they've been helping me out a lot with lots of gear, and same with SMAI. They've been throwing me gear left, right and centre. My Pure for helping out with my supplements, and Rebel Coffee giving me all my coffee. So yeah, those guys have been a massive help to me, and getting me to where I need to be, and helping out with especially injuries and stuff, and injury management, and doing what they can to help me out in every part there, and plus my travel over to the States and whatnot. So they're helping me out a lot, and Raw Strength. So those guys have been doing a massive thing for me as well. So yeah, cool. Those guys,
awesome. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show today, James.
No worries.
Take care. Thanks for watching again, guys. Take care, and we'll catch you in the next show. Peace.
In Adidas with some short shorts, BOO all over me. My green is where it's supposed to be. Your green is in my grocery. This Asian dude, I stole his girl, and now he got that Koji beef. My dick is like an accent mark. It's all about the overeat. Hot like a parked car.